Hi, everyone. Welcome to my overview of LinkedIn. Some of you likely already have a profile, while others of you have yet to explore this really amazing platform. LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network on the internet, and you can use LinkedIn to find jobs or internships, to connect and strengthen relationships, and to learn skills that you need to help you grow and succeed in your career. You can access LinkedIn from anywhere with an internet connection, desktop, mobile app, or a mobile web experience. Completing your profile can help you connect with opportunities by showcasing your personal brand, your story, your experience, your skills, and your education. So, in module three, one of your activities is to further develop or to create a LinkedIn profile. So, I'm taking a few minutes here today to walk you through what a profile looks like and some of the areas that I would like you to focus on as you develop your profile. So, I have it open right now, and much like any other social, right, there's a news feed down the middle, there's some static information on the left side about you and information on the right, and that'll also offer a pop-up um, for direct messaging, similar to what you see in any other platform. But the see, I have new posts already since I started this up. So let's take a look at my profile to just guide you through the elements of it. So when you set up your profile or enhance your profile, right, each of the sections are editable with a little pencil that's noted on the right. So to start things off, to have a strong profile, looking for you to have a professional profile shot, right? To be your profile pic. If you don't have a studio shot, just a nice picture of yourself with a clean background, some business-ish type attire, not extracted from a group photo, but just a nice photo of yourself. There's also the option to have cover art, like a lot of social platforms do. You can use this to, give a little insight into who you are. For me, it's all about the journey, helping students on a path, and I chose the graphic of people walking, right? Forward progress, one foot in front of the other. Your name will automatically be behind. You optionally can include preferred pronouns. The next piece here is your headline, right? It does not need to be your current job description, right? Because if you're bussing tables right now, but you aspire to be a digital marketer, you want to be found for marketing, not necessarily for bussing tables. So think about how you want people to know you in the LinkedIn professional space. For me, it's instructor, lead faculty, facilitator, and Rotarian. Those are some of the keyword searches because LinkedIn works like other social platforms, right? Thinking about search engine optimization, you want to be found in this platform. So give that some consideration as you develop your headline. It'll automatically include your location and your number of connections that will be updated as you go. And on the right, and it might look a bit confusing, it's like, hey, she has two schools there. What does that mean? The top one is going to be your current employer, and that's going to come from the information you enter later. And then the bottom one is your most recent educational credential. You'll see both of them have the actual logos. That's because I made sure to select the LinkedIn business page when I entered my education information. So same thing with employers. If they hopefully they have a LinkedIn page and then it will automatically pull in their graphic. If they do not have a LinkedIn page, it'll just have a generic avatar, and that's okay too. But when possible, be sure you're linking to the actual LinkedIn page for that organization. So moving down, and it does, like other platforms, make suggestions for you. It's giving me some analytics that only I can see. 50 people have viewed my profile. I've had 170 post impressions recently, and I've appeared in search 29 times. I have the free version of LinkedIn, and that's all that I suggest that you need. There is a premium version. It is a fair amount of money. I think right now it's like 40 or $50 a month. I don't know that it's necessary, and I'm not recommending that you get it. But I could discover more information behind these analytics if I were to subscribe to the premium. So scrolling down, the next section for you to fill out is your About You. Now, this is kind of like the elevator pitch, maybe even a little bit longer than your elevator pitch that you're working on. So this is mine, about me. I'll let you go ahead and read that. You don't need me to read it to you. But again, think about how you want to be known, how you want to show up in search results. So what are you passionate about? What are you excited by? You don't need to focus on what you're doing today, but what you aspire to do. What excites you? What fascinates you? What aspect of marketing are you interested in? What are you learning? Think about things like that. Keep in mind that your LinkedIn profile is a work in progress, it's never done. I do caution students from saying things on their profile like, I'm a first semester student at NWTC. While certainly you quite likely are, it just means that 3 months from now, 4 months from now, you're no longer a first semester student. So if you're going to have time sensitive references, be sure that you're continuously updating that in your profile. So I'll let you take a look at mine and then it would show some of my activity. This shows I have just over 1,300 followers, connections on it. Scrolling down is my experience section. You can kind of think of this as your electronic resume, if you will. So this is where you list the work experience that you have and the dates, and it will build this out for you. There's a really neat feature in LinkedIn. It didn't always do this, but in recent years, they've realized that people often have promotions inside organizations. So instead of it looking like separate jobs, it nests them together. And what do I mean by that? Here, I worked for the Gannett Company, and I had two different jobs, but they were both for the Gannett USA Today network. So it's one entry, is how it works. So as you take a look at it, obviously my most recent position is marketing instructor. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I have a little bit of a description and then a few highlights. That's a nice approach to use. Actually, for your purposes, you can use just bullet points, maybe 2, 3, 4 bullet items about the key aspects of the work that you do, focusing on outcomes and results more so than tasks that you do. So there's my Gannett job. Here's my Northwest News Group position. This is an example of that generic avatar because Northwest News Group isn't on LinkedIn, but there's the rest of my jobs going back in time. Here's my education section, again showing most recent first, right, and going in reverse order on the things that I have done. There's a volunteering section. This is super to use, especially, it's always good to use, but in particular, if you don't have that much work experience, maybe there is a nonprofit or a club or organization that you're passionate about serving, and this is a great place to showcase your skills. In my case, I served as the district trainer for Rotary International. That's the world's largest service organization, some 1.4 million members. It's a pretty cool thing, and that's one of the ways that I would like to be found. So I'm sure to include that. Next comes the skills section. So these are the skills that you are good at, and you get to initiate this list. There's a survey that you can take right within LinkedIn. It'll help you populate that. And then what happens is as you start building your network, your connections are invited to endorse you for this. So you can say leadership is one of my top skills, and I've been endorsed by 60 different people. 6 of them happen to work at NWTC. So this is one of those things that happens organically, right? Over time, it's going to build up. So think about populating it with some of your key skills, and then those endorsements will start to happen. You say, I apparently have 49 other skills in addition to those. Recommendations are different than endorsements. Endorsements are simply click saying, yep, she's got that skill. Yep, he's great at that. Recommendations are much more involved. That's an actual written recommendation. So I haven't ever asked anyone for those, but On occasion, a few people have just written them for me. The first one happens to be from a former student from a number of years ago. The one on your screen, Tina, was one of my direct reports when I worked at Gannett. Sometimes people choose to do that. At the point you're at in your career, you may want to ask for recommendations from a coworker or a boss or someone who knows your work well, who could do that. Important to note here is these don't just magically appear on your profile. You will be notified that someone has written a recommendation for you. You have the ability to preview it first, and then you can accept or decline having it appear on your profile. So that's what that section's about. There's an honors and awards section. Think about that. What can you include there? I have two that I'm particularly proud of, having received the Excellence in Teaching Award back in 2018, which is an NWTC annual award given to one instructor. And then I also had the opportunity to be the faculty speaker at graduation. So those are just some kind of cool things. Think about what things that you might want to include there, again, that showcase your skills or accomplishments. The next section is organizations. I hope you will all have this one to add. I hope you're all considering joining the American Marketing Association, which is the foremost organization for professional marketers. Some set 30,000 plus members. And we at NWTC have a collegiate chapter of this organization. So as a student, you can join AMA for um, the low price of $29 per year, and then you're automatically in our collegiate chapter. We meet Thursdays, 11:30 to 12:30, typically on an every other week schedule. Within the next, probably by the end of next week, I will have information that I will post in Canvas about early plans and meeting schedule, but I hope you'll consider being involved. We do run the meetings typically hybrid, so you can be on campus in a classroom or join us via Teams. So that's something that's pretty cool. The next section is your interests. This is what really helps fuel your feed, your news feed, right? Find people, companies, schools, groups to follow so that you can see what they're posting. Then you can comment on it, maybe reshare things, offer your insight. It's a great way to follow some thought leaders. So take a look at, voices, companies, groups, etc., and add some of those to your profile. You'll be amazed at how your news feed becomes much more interesting when these things are populated. So that's the overview of my LinkedIn profile. So what am I looking for you to do in this activity? Certainly a photo and a headline at the top. Cover art is optional, but I think it's a nice touch. A strong about you section, and think about the work that you'll be doing on your elevator pitch. How could that help in this activity? Build out your experience, a few jobs. Take a look in Canvas. I have a link to an article that's really fantastic. It's called 185 Action Verbs. It's a great way to start bullet points, right? And they're categorized by different activities. So that is intended as thought starters for you. What are the kinds of things that you can include? Of course, your education section. In your case, you're putting in NWTC, the date you started, and then it'll be when it's expected. You can also add relevant coursework. If you're in the marketing program, you've already taken, let's say, social media marketing, and you want to be found for that skill set, include the titles of some of the classes that you're taking and add to that over time, because again, it helps you to be found. You don't need to include high school because you had to have a high school diploma in order to come to college. Now, maybe there's something about high school that's really important that you want to include that could be optional, but it's really not necessary, and Career Services actually doesn't recommend putting high school on it. Put in some skills, looking for 10 to get you started. No, I'm not requiring anything on the recommendations section. Optionally, take a look at some awards and honors and organizations, and then find 10 interests that will help you build your profile. So that's what I have for you. I hope this is helpful. Please, by all means, reach out if you have questions via email. I'm happy to help.